It's really great interacting with so many of you. I get to talk to people all over the world, and I get messages on YouTube at affairrecovery.com, on my Twitter account, as well as my Instagram account, from places that I never thought I would reach. Some recent communication from Croatia, so I'm so glad that you all are here. And I am really excited when unfaithful spouses reach out to me, because I know that when I was an unfaithful spouse, I didn't reach out to anyone. I was terrified. There wasn't a lot of help 14 years ago. I was afraid of being found out because I was in the public eye. I didn't see any safe place to go. And I've had a couple of questions, and I've even had a number of comments and talked to some unfaithful spouses who have the approach or have believed the lie that says, it's always going to be like this, I just have to get used to it, I'm never going to get over my affair partner, I don't have any desire for my spouse, so I'm just going to fake it till I make it, or we'll just stay together for the kids, and I'll just miss my affair partner and always have this little corner of my heart, or my heart will always be with my affair partner. And I want to really help you, the unfaithful, understand that there's really not a lot of truth in those statements at all. I also want to help you, the betrayed, understand that where do those statements come from? Why do they think that way? And how can you help them, but also how can you understand if they're telling you those things, it's not exactly as much of a truth as they may have believed. It's more the deception that they have talked themselves into. It's more as a result of the chemical reaction that's been going on inside of them due to dopamine and adrenaline and things of that nature. And it's not necessarily the truth of who they are, though they may be in this form of bondage mentally or even emotionally that they really don't know how to get themselves out of. The reality is, affairs are addictive, emotionally, mentally, sexually. And so when we, as an unfaithful, are trying to break free from our affair partner, there is this tug of war on a daily basis, sometimes hourly, to get us back to be with our affair partner. Part of the reason that affairs are so addictive, and yes, I said addictive, is because there's an adrenaline there. The unfaithful spouse, most of them will struggle with a concept called limerence. Limerence is very similar to infatuation, but it is as of a result of the chemicals in our brain crystallizing when we are with our affair partner. You can study dopamine, you can study oxytocin, you can message me and I can get you some articles about it, but the reality is it's a very real struggle mentally that we become almost a prisoner to. You are not a prisoner to it, you are almost a prisoner because there's always a choice. But what happens is we feel this addictive, infatuatory component that we have no idea how to get out of. And so though the affair may be over, we still can struggle with this feeling of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But here's the problem. Affairs are fantasy life. They're not reality. Typically, when you're in an affair, you're not living real life, right? There's typically not kids and expectations and responsibilities and mood swings and ups and downs and health issues and bills to pay and demands of children and the pressures of life. Affairs are where we go to seemingly escape real life, adult life, pressures, responsibility, maturity. Affairs are where we go to forget about all the other things that we're so tired of and oppressed by and swamped under. Affair partners always make us feel great about ourselves. We don't always love our affair partners. We love the way an affair partner makes us feel about ourselves. So we're really at some level using the affair partner to feel awesome about ourselves. Now, before you kind of hit the send button as an unfaithful, that doesn't mean that you don't care about your affair partner. And I'm not trying to undermine the basis of what you say you legitimately felt for your affair partner. But the further and further and further away you get from your affair, the more that you will learn about what was going on inside of your mind and your heart when you were in the middle of the affair. You see, when you're breaking free from the affair partner, there is a sobering up season. There is absolutely a detoxing season, much like a drug addict, that you will have to go through. It can be excruciating. It can hurt like hell. It can deceive you into thinking it's always going to be like this. It's not. That's the lie. That's the addiction. That's the chemicals decreasing slowly but surely. That is the pain of breaking free out of the bond that you've established with your affair partner. Some people from the Christian community will call it a soul tie, and you have established this soul tie with them. You don't flip the switch and that disappears. Nor do you flip the switch from a addiction or a habit. If you've had multiple affair partners or been dealing with pornography over a year or 10 or 20 or 30 years, you don't flip a switch and make that behavior stop. And so you have to understand there is a process to breaking free. It takes time, but it takes recovery work that is expert-driven. One of the worst things you can do as an unfaithful spouse is to white-knuckle it and think that I'm just going to hold on. I'm just going to not think about them. I won't think about my affair partner. I'm busy, I'm not thinking. I'm sorry, your willpower is not enough. And some of you might say, well, Samuel, you don't know me. I'm strong, I can do it. You weren't supposed to have an affair in the first place. And typically, what Rick told me was, your life is a mess right now, right? You've done the unthinkable to your spouse, and this is you. It's your best effort. Like, this is your best work. This is all of your willpower being exposed, showing you what you're capable of doing to harm your spouse, jeopardize your family, jeopardize your future. Do you really want to put the rest of your recovery, the rest of your future, the rest of your family and life hinging on your willpower, which has failed miserably, or do you want to do something different, and do you want to find a new way of healing? Now, the mind of the unfaithful is a very difficult, muddy place. The truth of the matter is, sometimes we would rather, and I can only say this looking back, if you'd have talked to me about it in the heat of the moment, I'd have lied to you, or I'd have fought you and said there's no way that that's true, and I probably wouldn't even have known that this was a lie. But the reality is, we would rather miss our affair partner. We would rather be swallowed up in sorrow and self-pity about our affair partner and what we've done to our own life than we are willing to get help and do recovery work and put energy and effort and face our shame and face our humiliation and confront ourselves. We'd rather lie in sorrow, and we'd rather kind of just be depressed. And I'm not knocking depression at any level, because I've been depressed and I've been on medication for depression, so I understand that. But I will tell you, oftentimes, we'd rather feel sorry for ourselves, we'd rather curl up in a ball and just miss our affair partner, or even use video blogs like this to say, see, it's real that I miss my affair partner, so leave me alone and let me be. We'd rather do that in our selfishness and our dysfunction than we would man up or woman up and actually get recovery work, do the hard work, find an EMS weekend, come to a weekend intensive, or find some other medium like the Beyond Affairs Network or SurvivingInfidelity.com or XXX Church or any of those things. We'd kind of rather feel sorry for ourselves. You see, until the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of trying to change or getting help, we're probably going to stay the same, because we don't know how to set ourselves free. We think that we do, and we tell ourselves that we do, and we tell our spouses, our partners, and our friends, and our family that we know. The problem is we don't, or we can't do it. Now, something that I need to tell you that is going to probably upset some of you, and I never try to do that, but I just want to throw that out to help you understand that this is a big truth, and it's going to hurt a little bit, but it needs to be said. One of the worst people for the unfaithful spouse to process their feelings about their affair partner with, or the struggles that they're having to break free and detox from the affair partner with, is their spouse. They need a third party who's objective. They need a third party who's not going to shame them or even give them advice per se, but is going to absorb them, absorb their information, support them, and if they have been through infidelity or addiction, give them some things to do to continue to stay sober. That's not going to be the spouse. The spouse is too reactive, too hurt, in too much pain, and has probably not been through infidelity before. And so having them be their accountability partner or their main person to process with is going to be far too difficult and far more painful than having the unfaithful spouse find something like Hope for Healing on our website or other programs at XXX Church or other different mediums like that to be able to start to come clean, get clean, and stay clean.